Hi everyone. So let's start this session now. Let me just open the slide deck which we had worked upon in the last class. So this is what we had done in last class. This is just for a quick recall that we registered ourselves into AWS. We took a virtual machine at like EC2. We took a machine which already had Docker installed. We downloaded and installed Putty. And then from Putty, we connected and verified if Docker is installed. We are just gonna do similar things today, actually. But I want to show you how Docker is actually installed in a fresh Linux machine. Okay, so that is the goal of this class. So let me just create a new slide for this class only. Setup 2. We already had registered ourselves, so we'll just log into AWS account. Here also we are going to take EC2 VM with Linux OS, but we'll take the regularly like Ubuntu server now, which does not come with Docker install actually. So once we have this second step, then we'll install Docker, and then from Putty we can connect, and then we can verify the Docker is installed. Okay, so let's go and connect to AWS account which we had created in the last class. Okay, so this is how we can connect to our AWS account. Log back in. This all step we had seen last time already, so I won't talk much about this part. Alright, so we now have logged into the AWS account. If we go to EC2, okay, we don't see any instance which is up here. In fact, there's nothing out here actually. You might be surprised what happened to our EC2 which we did last time. So for the sake of saving some money, I just terminated the instance actually. And this is what you should also do when you're learning something at any cloud service provider. You should get into habit of cleaning everything, otherwise you will incur a lot of cost actually. Okay, so in this particular case, what we have done, we just logged into AWS account. Now we are going to take a EC2 VM instance with Linux OS only. Okay, steps are similar which we had done last time. Launch instance. We'll just give a name like, let's say, Docker 1. Last time we chose a different AMI which had Docker installed. This time I'm just gonna have regular Ubuntu, and the latest version of Ubuntu is fine. It's also pre-tier eligible, so this is also good for me. Which instance type T2 micro, which is pre-tier eligible, this is also fine with me. Key pair login which we had created last time, like we created a new key pair, downloaded and kept it at our laptop. We are gonna use the same thing actually. Okay, so we don't have it here. Okay, so let's create a new one actually. Okay, same thing which we had chosen last time, ppk file RSA, and we'll just say Docker 1. That's fine. Create new security group. We are good with the basic one which allows us to connect to this instance from anywhere using SSH. Let's say we'll take 30. This is for storage part, and launch instance. Okay, So till now, whatever we have done, we already had done it last time. You might be already familiar now with this one. Okay, so let's see what's the status of our VM. It's in pending state. It's still not up. This is fine. It will take some few moments. The docker1.ppk file is out here. Let me just put it to some right place. Okay, now it's in running state. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to connect to this instance from Putty. From this place, if you remember, like we have to put the IP address, save it with a name, and then attach the ppk file from this location actually. So let's do the same thing out here. Our IP address this time is this one. I just saved it with the name docker1, and then when I go to SSH, I have to select that docker1 file, which is right here. Okay, I should have saved that actually, otherwise next time I have to reload this ppk file again. Okay, so if you remember, Ubuntu is the ID. I don't need to put any password because I already have used the ppk file. I'm connected to this virtual machine pwd, and this is a fresh virtual machine which has got only Ubuntu installed. There's nothing else out here. Okay, we can just confirm with the Docker. It's not there actually. So if I go back to my deck, this part is done, this is done, install Docker is not done, right? When I try to do Docker like this, it asks me to like it says that Docker is not here, but you can run this command to install it. Okay, this is what we are gonna do, but before that we need to have one small thing. This is for updating the repository with the list of new packages actually. It just update all the repository with a list of updated packages, so that when we install some services, the updated packages are installed actually. Might take a few moments. Alright, so this part is done. If I go back to the same command again, okay, so this is what it asked me to do, sudo. Hope you all know what is sudo for. Sudo is for running a command in super user mode actually. So this ID Ubuntu is already part of sudo list, so that's why I can run this command. If it is not added into the sudo list actually, you won't be able to do. So whenever I create a new user, it may not be able to run the commands in the super user mode. You have to add the user into the sudo list actually. Okay, asking me to continue with this. Now this is a very basic setup actually. This is how you normally do when you have to do things very for quick POC, or for quick learning actually. Okay, so that part is done. Let me just see Docker. Okay, it's showing me these are all command. That means Docker is installed actually. Okay, Docker minus version. It shows this version. So Docker is installed now. So all I had to do was just run one command. Actually, two commands. One is for updating the repository list, and another is for installing the Docker engine. Docker actual enterprise Docker comes with a lot many other packages, which we will see in the next section. But for basic Docker installation, this is all sufficient actually. Okay. Docker is there. Docker is fine. It's now up and running. Sudo docker ps. I don't see anything, so there's no container which is up now. In fact, we don't see any images also. And just to confirm whether this is working fine, we now need to run one command. It is just a hello world to ensure that Docker is up and running. So what she's doing is trying to find the image in the local repository. If you look here, unable to find image. So this is Docker thing, like it try to find that image locally, and if it is not find, then it takes from Docker Hub actually. So pull complete, it pull the image, and then finally is showing you the hello from Docker. This is just for confirmation whether Docker is up and running or not. Okay, that's it actually. So this is the simplest way of installing a Docker. We'll stop this video now, and in the next one, we will. I will show you one more way of installing Docker actually at the Linux side. Okay. Just to recap what we have done here, we connected to AWS account from our ID. We took a Ubuntu OS, Ubuntu OS at EC2 virtual machine. Then we installed Docker. We connected Putty, and then we verified Docker is installed or not. So that's all in this session. And the next one, I will show you one more method of installing Docker, and then we will go from there to Confluent Kafka side. Okay, thank you.